I don't think there's as much correlation between what people do and how they're participating in the system and what they actually would like to see happen. Like, I think that people don't necessarily want politicians who mirror them. They don't want politicians who are them. They want politicians who are going to act on their behalf, if that makes sense. Like, that was just something I realised during the election campaign, probably with a couple of months to go. It's like, most people don't want people to do in power what they would do. Like, they actually don't want people to literally just be their proxy. They want people to do the right thing, even if it's not easy. And this conversation I had with my friend Melissa this week from Argentina, she said, like, people got to the point where they understood that it was going to have to be pain for things to get better.
And Malay will do it.
And yeah, but I think what he's done is he's given politicians in Argentina the courage to actually say no, and to say, this can't go on forever, this is unsustainable. Because at the moment, all of our politicians, they all know. Like, there's no politicians elected now in Canberra or in Spring Street who don't know. Like, they all are doing everything they're doing with knowledge of the fact that it doesn't work. All of them, the Greens, everyone, like, because they're representing both renters and like NIMBY landlords. So they, have their cake and eat it too. They all know that what is going on now is unsustainable, but they all know that they're not going to be around to pick up the bill when it bursts.
So you mentioned how Australia being the lucky country, basically, which, if people don't realise, was a pejorative. We're not smart, we're not hardworking, we're not innovative, we're just lucky. That's where that phrase came from.
Yeah, I love that it initially started like that, but people like use it as a point of pride. They're like, oh yeah, we're in a lucky country, whatever. It's like, yeah, no, that's all we got. Like,
my prediction is we'll continue to be lucky, right? And so sometimes you have to ask, how long do you resist the insanity before just joining it? And I don't mean I want to throw the country into the bin. What I mean is, I feel like we're going to discover some rare earth, or Labor is going to be right in the end, and Purple Pingers and Daniel Lopez was supposed to be here. In the end, we can have a wealth tax and an inheritance tax, and we can keep spending, and we can keep abusing the economy and our Austrian economics notions, because at the end of the day, there'll be so much fat to flow around.
Yeah, I think that the first thing I'd say to that is that to an extent that might be true, but we will also lose a lot of people if things keep going the way they are. Not that I think there's necessarily the next Elon Musk born in Australia or living in Australia now, but like, those people will leave. The people who can leave will leave. If things keep going the way they are, and if it becomes that kind of almost open, everyone's in on the rort kind of thing, there will be people who will just leave. And it's already started happening in a micro sense within interstate. Like, the amount of people that I'm sure we all know who have left Victoria, like, to remain in Victoria as people with libertarian beliefs is an act of defiance, and it's an act of almost, well, not almost, it literally is self-harm in some ways. Like, and I mean, no, I was gonna qualify that, but as I went to, I realised, no, actually, to stand your ground and to sort of remain here is actually, there's no way of saying it's not against your best interests. Like, people who want to remain in Victoria despite the direction things are going are people who are choosing to stay and fight to their detriment, when they could potentially, if it was just a strict, ledger, dollars and cents question, or even values question, they would leave. But that's already happening. The outflow of people who are productive people, who are entrepreneurial, hardworking people, New South Wales and Queensland are getting those people, and that's continuing to happen. It happened most notably through COVID, but it's continuing to happen because I've got people I know through the Libertarian Party and others who have left. But there's like, every time I speak to people on X, and the amount of people who are saying, I was a Victorian, I used to live in Victoria. Australians culturally don't move around as much as, for example, the Americans do, where moving between states for work and things like that is much more culturally normal. But I think we will see that change, even within Australia, because it's not going to happen everywhere all at once. But if it is going to happen, as you say, it's going to happen here first.
What's going to happen?
Victoria. I think Victoria is going to just absolutely lean into and embrace the almost Mussolini-esque model, where it's like, nothing outside the state, everything within the state, nothing against the state. Like, I think that is...
But we will ride on the coattails of the GST redistribution, which is only just flipped. So Victoria's been a net contributor to the GST since its inception. Mm-hmm. We've just flipped now to be a net taker.